It's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. Said it's a long way to the top if you wanna rock and roll. PCS Laundry Live! Friday, November 1st, 2019. Sitting in front of the Charles L. Bryant Federal Courthouse in White Plains, New York, just down the street from the Lexington Laundromat, where my clothes are currently cooking, and flipping, and drying. For another edition of PCS Laundry Live with my beloved PCS family, staring out into space, the cityscape, the beautiful city of White Plains. Not a whole lot going on, but people are rolling in. And we're underway again. We got a little wind tonight. I think we're going to be all right, but if we got to, we'll do a little walking and we'll get somewhere inside, try and cut down on that. So let me know if the wind is becoming an issue. Quick hellos first, and then we'll get into business and blah, 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 blah. I got a few things to talk about tonight. Something cool just happened. Not cool, but funny just happened. But Mike Petty's here. Cindy Papas. I'm sorry. I said that wrong. I've been saying it right for like a long time now, and I botched it. Sorry, Cindy. I love you. Darla Elkins is here. We got Elaine Arnett Dangerfield is here. We got Mary Gunny from Grand Rapids. You don't even have to type that anymore, Mary Gunny. I remember Grand Rapids. Try me next week. Don't say where you're from, and I'll remember. Unless I fuck up, and then I won't remember, and then everybody can laugh at me. Betsy Believable is here. I don't know if their alter ego is with us tonight or not, or the rest of the family, but good to see you. Mona Eves is here. Deborah Patera is not in Facebook jail and is watching, unless she's in the common room at the Facebook gulag watching with all the rest of the inmates there. Linda Bleefnick is here, so that answers the previous question. Bob Devon, haven't seen you in a minute. Dina Van Buskirk Kane is here. Cindy Pappas, don't quit your day job. Give me a break. I'm singing. You hear that guy's voice? Who could sing like that? I can't. I'm not physically equipped to get that high. And we won't go any further into detail on that. Yeah, we can text later. Lisa Rossell is here. Ohio in the house. Jim Thomas, the unofficial undercover legal advisor for Planet Common Sense, PCS Laundry Live, and everything else we do. Haven't seen you in a couple weeks, and good to see you here. Bob Martin. Missed the last couple weeks. Looking forward to the show. Howdy all PCS. I thought that said howdy all posers for a second in the small small letters, but howdy all PCSers. Jim Thomas saying, hey, what's up, Jim? Lee Bashius is here. I see you around the boards. I don't remember seeing you too much on the live show. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. We'll get on and catch up further as we go. New people, and there's a shitload of you. Holy crackers. It's been mayhem the last 3 weeks, particularly on PCS Memes. But new people, if you're joining us for the first time tonight, PCS Laundry Live is an interactive show. Jump in the comments, tell us who you are, where you're from, what's on your mind. Anything you want to talk about, we'll bring you right in, throw you into the mix. Please remember, I don't see all the comments. They come by fast, and some of them don't show up at all. So if I miss you tonight, new folks, we do a recap, usually Saturday morning. And I will say hi to everybody, answer all your questions, and carry on from there. So off we go. Michael Spurlock from Tallahassee, Florida. Alan Myers from Cedar Rapids. We got a lot of new people in here with us tonight. Yo, listen, PCS Memes is on fire. And it's the weirdest thing. It's not, I mean, it's easily explainable because of all the bullshit that's gone down over the last couple months on social media in general and Facebook in particular, with suppression of free speech to people with certain ideology. But the original Planet Common Sense page, the growth has just been nothing. It's dying, it's dead. It's not dead and it's not dying. Those are, I shouldn't even use those two words. It's stagnant, okay? As far as growth goes right now, we're picking up 4 or 5 people a day sometimes, which, that's fine. Other days we get a good hit or a meme pops or something like that, and we pick up 30 or 40. The PCS Memes page has been picking up like 100 people a day for the last 3 weeks now. I think we picked up about 1,500 people. I know I just looked today and I was comparing today's numbers to last week's, and it was around 600 people in the last week. So PCS Memes is on fire. If you haven't gone over there yet and you don't know what it is, which there's no reason why you shouldn't, I've been talking my ass off about it, but it's just a mirror page now at this point. PCS Memes and Planet Common Sense are sister pages, same content 99% of the time. There's certain things where it's geared specifically toward Planet Common Sense or geared specifically toward PCS Memes, where there'll be some difference in content, but 99% of the content that goes up on both pages. You're going to get better access to Planet Common Sense content at this time through the PCS Memes page. So, you know what? If you're on PCS already and you don't want to do two, that's fine. I get it. If you don't mind, go over to PCS Memes. It's just type in PCS Memes or Planet Common Sense Memes, or just use the official tag No Puss Cookies on Facebook. It'll bring you right to the page. Click follow, and you're going to get good access there, better access than you get from the original Planet Common Sense page. So that's what that's all about. Getting ready to dance into this weekend. There's no lack of shit to talk about. And I'm going to kick it off with I just had an encounter with an anti-Trumper just before I came on. See, we were just talking about this last week, about how shit just seems to happen. Like shit just pops just before the show, and things break out. And I didn't see anything on the news in particular today. So I was like, all right, well, maybe we're going to get away with it this week. But I'm literally in the laundromat. I'll tell the story. I'm in the laundromat, and Hector's there. My buddy Hector runs the laundromat, and he's talking to a guy. And I'm just minding my own business. I say, hey, what's up? I walk in, putting my clothes into the machine. And this guy who Hector was talking to comes over, taps me on the shoulder. And I got earbuds in. I was listening to Joey Diaz, a clip of Joey Diaz. He's a hilarious comedian. If you don't know Joey Diaz, absolutely check him out. He's funny as hell. He's one of the funniest guys out there. So I'm just, I got the earbuds on. I don't hear what's going on. He comes up and taps me on the shoulder. He's a big guy. He's about 6'2", 6'3". So, excuse me, I want to ask you something. So I take the earbuds out. What's up? He goes, what do you think about Donald Trump? Do you think he's going to get reelected? And I'm like, yeah. And he looks at me like, are you serious? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm serious. I think he's going to get reelected like in a landslide of historic proportions. And he's like, yo, crazy, man. I'm like, well, what are you talking? All right, well, who's going to beat him? He goes, anybody's going to beat him. I'm like, okay, so who? He goes, you're crazy, man. And he walks away. I'm like, so that's it. I figured, you know what? That's the typical left hole argument when you hit them back with facts. They just like divert and diverge and dive away from the issue. So he walks away. Now, the whole time, I'm looking past him, and Hector's just standing there giggling because he set the whole thing up. I think he told the guy to come over because, me and him have talked, and Hector's on our team. So he comes back like 10 seconds later. He taps me on the shoulder again. I'm like, what do you want? He goes, well, you think he's going to get impeached? I'm like, for what? He goes, for anything, for whatever. I'm like, okay, but you understand there's got to be something they have to impeach him for. Like, there has to be something. It's like committing a crime. You got to rob a store before they, charge you for robbing a store. They can't just walk up to you and say, I didn't explain this all to him, but I'm just like, I conveyed that to him. Like, okay, for what? For anything, for whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm like, well, yeah, it does matter. They have to have something to impeach him for. Oh, you crazy, man. And starts laughing, and he walks away again. Now Hector's just laughing his ass off. So I'm just standing there giggling and shit. I'm like, what the hell? And he goes back over to Hector. And then they're talking. I can't hear everything they're saying. It's kind of quiet. And Hector's like, so what do you think? You want to do this? Guy's like, yo, you got it, man. Let's go. Hector pulls out a pad and starts writing it down. He's taking a bookie bet on the election that Trump's going to win. And I think he might have had a little side action on the impeachment too, but he put this guy down for $10 and he's like winking at me the whole time. So, yeah, it was pretty funny, man. I'm like, dude, you know what? You got to look around the country, not just the neighborhood, my friend. And you might see things a little differently that, we're not as crazy as you think we are. We're crazy, but not in the ways that you're implying that we're crazy. So that's my little story, my little pre-Laundry Live encounter with an anti-Trumper, and I'm crazy. And anybody's going to beat him, and they're going to impeach him for whatever. And I walked away from the conversation like, he's got the Democratic Party line right down to a T. It doesn't matter. Say anything and then walk away. So that's what's up with that. So let me go back. We'll see who else is here. We'll get into some other stuff. Deborah Patera, the tortoise wins in the end. Whatever that means. Al Carpenter's here with us. Aurora Tracy Bissig is here. Mona Eves, you missed Betty dropping out? I definitely missed Betty dropping out. I'm sorry I did, because I would have loved it. It's tough. I gotta, it's just like weird. At the end of the day, you gotta remember too, I'm at work all day when I'm doing this. And I just kind of squeeze PCS in between. And toward the end of the day, there's like a lot of clerical stuff I have to do, and I have to wrap up my work day, and I have to wrap up PCS, and I'm in a big scramble, so I don't really get a chance to scroll around and see what's going on. Then, I get on the train, I'm hauling over, I'm running my ass over to the laundromat with my laundry bag on my shoulder, and I'm not looking and scrolling and poking around. So that's why I end up missing this stuff. But tell me all about that, and I will look into it later, and I'll pull some memes out over that one. So thanks for letting me know on that. Mona, Deborah Patera, can't wait for the Fireside Chat. Should be awesome in true Trump form. Now, the Fireside Chat, I didn't hear anything specifically called a Fireside Chat. I know he is doing a rally in Mississippi tonight, and we're going to watch party it immediately after we're done talking here tonight. As soon as I shut this off and just post it public, I'm going to go right on, put up a watch party for the rally down in Tupelo, Mississippi tonight. Because those are always fun, and this is going to be the first one where he's getting up on that podium after all the shit that went down this week and all the impeachment bullshit. So this could be a real big, fiery one, so we'll see how that all works out. But don't forget, you're going to give you a few minutes, we're going to end up, I guess, around 7:40 or so, since I started about that time. And give you a couple of minutes to go do a little pee-pees and get yourself some snacks and a six-pack or whatever, make yourself a martini, and come on back and join us for a PCS watch party for the Trump rally in Tupelo, Mississippi. I think it's Tupelo, right? If I'm wrong, somebody correct me. So we'll check that out tonight. But Deborah, I don't know if that's what you were talking about. Hang on. I don't have my Zippo with me tonight because I ran out of gas. So just bear with me on this. All right, I'm putting the phone down. I suck. Hold on. How utterly unprofessional. Just broke up the whole momentum of the show there, but we'll get right back into it though. So yeah, I'm now, you kind of got me distracted on the Betty thing that Betty, and for those of you who don't know, Betty is Robert Beto O'Rourke. Apparently he dropped out. I'm just hearing this now from Mona Eves. That's, I'm mixed on it because I really wanted them all to stay in. I just really wanted them all to just stay in there and just keep picking at each other for the next year and just ripping each other down and ripping each other. But not that he was doing too much. He was just talking dumb shit. He's been gone for the last 3 weeks. He really blew it big time. But all right, well, you know what? Nice run, Peter. We have some lovely parting gifts for you. What they used to give out, like on The Price is Right and shit. They give you like a year's supply of Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat, and some Samsonite luggage, and fuck off. And you know what we can give Bado for parting gift? An AR-15. There you go. There you go, Betty. Here's your parting gift, an assault rifle. Enjoy that. Don't shoot yourself in the foot, dick. Bye, Betty. All right. Not you, Betty Hernandez, if you're out there. I love you, sweetheart. I always feel bad when I call Beto O'Rourke, Beto fake Mexican, when I call him Betty, that I'm hurting Betty Hernandez's feelings, because I love Betty Hernandez, and she knows that. But Betty, if you're out there, I didn't see your name pop up. I don't know if you got football tonight, so you're probably not here. But Betty, I don't mean nothing. When I call Beto O'Rourke Betty, I'm not picking on you, so don't be mad at me, because I love you, sweetheart. I love all you guys, most of you guys. I like some of you. Some of you, whatever. All right, what else we got? Amy Thompson, I haven't watched any news today. Trump's doing a fireside chat. Yeah, I don't know about the fireside chat thing. I know he is doing a rally, just a rally in Mississippi for the governor's race, which I'm guessing is, I don't know if it's tomorrow. Usually does them the day before, but whatever. There's a governor's race, I think. I don't know shit. I'm an idiot on a phone on a corner. But I think it's a governor's race in Mississippi, and he's stumping for the guy in Mississippi, the Republican candidate in Mississippi, and doing a rally. And shit's going to get wild, and shit's going to get fiery, because he's got a lot to talk about and a lot he wants to say. So we're gonna watch party it. If you got nothing to do after Laundry Live, hang in, and we're going to put the watch party right up, and we'll all watch that together. Bob Martin, Bado dropped out. Got that already. Betsy, believable. Left holes never have specifics. Well, no, because they don't have anything. It's not specifics. It's not, they can't even make up specifics. It's like talking to air. It's like clapping with one hand, trying to talk to them. Sometimes it's kind of crazy, but this was fun. Like, this guy he made me giggle, and he made my buddy Hector giggle. And Hector made a bet with him on the election, so Hector's going to win some money. Maybe Hector will go next door and we'll get some tacos and shit when he collects on his bet a year from now. Deborah Patera, yes, no more Betty. Hunger Games claim another turd. We got to do a Hunger Games emblem for him tonight. Da, 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 da. We'll get the anthem and everything playing by Betty. Amy Thompson, yeah, Bado is leaving us hanging. In it, Elaine Arnett Dangerfield, that was humorous, Glenn. Which part? Darla Elkins, Trump raised $3 million since the impeachment vote. Every single time they start going off on him, he raises another $3 million. It's hilarious. Nancy, the Duchess of Dementia, Pelosi, is the greatest Republican fundraiser of all time. It's hilarious. We're going to have fun tonight. I'm in an upbeat mood tonight. Like, I'm not yelling at nobody. Well, it's early. We're just getting started. And you guys know the buttons to push. But this is going to be a fun show tonight, and we're going to have a fun time on the watch party later. Elaine Arnett Dangerfield is saying, Betty memes. You can count on that. We had a good meme this week. I had one pop, that one with that face you make, the one with Chucky the Clown and the Duchess, where I was saying about how they trusted the dog, but they don't trust congressional Democrats. That meme hit like 120,000 screens. So Chucky the Clown and the Duchess of Dementia were responsible for some huge growth on Planet Common Sense memes this week. So thank you for that. We hit it, like I said, 130, 150,000 screens with that meme. So that was pretty cool. That was fun. Ran my ass ragged all week trying to keep up with things, but that's nothing new. And we just do what we do. Mike Petty, looks like the Indian is in the lead now. It's tough to tell. I haven't really checked the polls. There's the polling place that I look at when I'm like specifically going to look for polls. And we all know polls are bullshit. All right. It's you can manipulate that, and some do it right and some try to do it right. Most of them don't. It's a targeted audience. Look, I could get Rosie O'Donnell to be the front runner for the Democrats if I take the poll at halftime of a WNBA game. You can construct polls to say whatever you want. So polls are meaningless, but just to get a tangible look at what they are at least saying is going on, I go to Real Clear Politics because they do composite polls there, and they do a bunch of different polls. They compile them together. They bounce them off each other. I didn't check that this week, but they've been just switching places. Her and Bernie and Gropey Joe have just been like just jockeying for position. And you know what? It's just it doesn't even matter. This shit's over. It's over. There's no way any one of these mooks has even the slightest chance of winning this election. And don't get complacent on my say-so, please, because you still got to go out and pull the lever. But it doesn't even matter anymore. Even like the whole impeachment thing, I just don't even care. I'm not taking it seriously. And that, if that ends up being a fatal mistake, please, by all means, come back and call me on it. But I'm not getting worked up about this impeachment, because you know what the thing is too. Everybody's just seeing the word impeachment falling out of these left holes' mouths, and you just instantly, the hair stands up on the back of your neck like it's a big deal. And the fact of the matter is it's not. They didn't do anything this week. There's nothing different today on Friday than there was on Wednesday with the vote in between. Because they're not voting to impeach him. They're just voting on procedures. And what they're doing, in my opinion, is they're just trying to prolong this whole thing. So from now, right up until the election, Trump is under an impeachment inquiry. And that's their take. That's their angle. That's the best they have to offer. They have nothing to tell you that's going to make your world better. They have nothing to tell you that's going to make you happier or healthier or get more sex or eat more good food or drive a fancier car. They got nothing. The only thing they can do is bring the other guy down and try and burden him with things that are going to hinder him from performing as well as he should untethered by shit like that. And that's all this is. And you bounce it, and you know, so how are they going to do that? Like an impeachment is supposed to take... I said it the other day, just kidding around, like the whole fucking Watergate scandal from start to finish took less time than it's taken these idiots to even figure out what they're going to impeach the guy for. It's a joke. It's a joke. There's nothing, there's no substance, it's nothing. And if you look back at the whole Russian collusion thing, that's some shit that should have been over in 6 months. They made that last 3 years. That was practice for this. Because what they're doing now is the same shit. They got the impeachment hanging over his head like it's going to work. And they're going to just drag that out the whole way right up until the election. And it's, oh, how can you vote for somebody who's under impeachment? Well, you know what? Same way you fucking monkeys voted for a lying, corrupt, national security risk, scumbelly old twat goblin who was under 15 different FBI investigations while she was running for president in 2016. Ha, 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 fucking ha. That's how we're going to vote for him. You know, whatever you think you're doing, it's folly. You're not going to win this election. The best thing you could do is just, you know, surrender. What's the word I'm looking for? Disqualify yourselves at this point. You're just wasting everybody's time and annoying people. Let the country run. Stop this shit and just do it the right way. All right, that was a tangent, so let's catch back up. Aurora Tracy Bissing. Who is Betty? Betty is Robert Beto O'Rourke, the fake leprechaun Mexican that attempted to run for governor or Senate or against Ted Cruz in Texas and is now attempting and pretending to run for president against Donald Trump up until today, apparently. So that's who Betty is. And if you're talking about Betty Hernandez is a sweetheart and a PCSer who also happens to be from Texas, coincidentally. So if that's who you're asking about, that's who my Betty is. And that other Betty is Bado the fake Mexican. We call him Betty. We got Greg Johnson. The local news reg espouses the premise of being anti-hate speech. But the editorial, letters to the editor, by a former local Democrat chair qualify as absolute hate speech. How do I protest against that when the newspaper won't print the rebuttal? Well, the simple, objective answer to that, Greg, is you don't. Because A, you can't, and B, it doesn't matter. That's the kind of shit you just got to let roll off your back, man. Like, it's like kind of like, and it's funny you say that, and this comes up in this context. It's the same exact thing as what I just went through a half hour ago with this guy in the laundromat. You're wasting air, and you're wasting, you know, contractions of your vocal cords, and you're wasting concentration and brain cells trying to talk to these people and, you know, come up with the counterattack or your view against their view. It's a waste of time, man, and it's a waste of energy. So just you don't freak over it. Don't get upset over it. There's not much you can really do, so don't do nothing. Same cigarette. Sorry, they go out because I start talking, and they just go out. So bear with me. This sucks. Hold on. You just talk amongst yourselves when I do that. Sorry about that, though. That was shitty. Last one, I promise. Elaine Arnett Dangerfield. Hey, speaking of shoulders, you're looking really buff these days, Glenn. Oh, boy. Well, thank you. That was very nice of you to say. I don't know what particular picture you're talking about, but that was very sweet. You just made me smile, and I'm kind of blushing a little bit now. So thank you, Elaine. That was sweet of you to say. It's not buff. I'm just kind of built that way. I just got big shoulders. Like, I'm not toned and I'm not working out like I was. I'm still doing the asymmetrics. If you guys want to, I don't know. We always end up talking about my ass somehow every couple of weeks. But thank you for saying that. I'm feeling good and like, you know, I'm eating all right and I'm not really working out like I should be. But thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. I'm built like a Coke machine. That's what my track coach told me when I was in like 10th grade. He was like, Hazelwood, you're like a Coke machine with hands and feet. So that's what you're seeing. But thank you. That was very sweet, and you made me smile. Mary Gunny Watch Party. Yeah, baby. Amy Thompson. You can tell by the scraggly bunch of nuts the Dems have put forward that they know they ain't going to beat Trump. They know. Of course they know. I mean, what are they going to do? Look at this. It's just ridiculous. It's the Hunger Games. It's the Democratic Hunger Games. And they're all going to go in and gather around the cornucopia and choose some weapons and try and slaughter each other. And it'll just be, a battle of attrition until there's a couple of them left. You know what's going to be the only thing that's going to change the dynamic of it? And there's a lot of things that could pop up is whatever remaining debates they have. I saw something about Julian Castro, 2D Julian. I call him 2D Julian because he doesn't look like he's three-dimensional. Like he looks like somebody drew him. But they were like all psyched because Julian Castro made the threshold of the of fundraising to qualify for the November debate, which is kind of like falling overboard on the Titanic and just catching the rail as you went over and pulling yourself back up onto the deck of the Titanic. That's what Julian Castro, like just squeaking in and making it into the next debate financially is like to me. So good luck to Julian. He's funny and interesting. I haven't memed him at all because I don't think enough people would even recognize him. I haven't heard much from the sub candidates, man. We haven't heard a whole lot. You haven't heard from Petey much lately. You haven't heard from Salad Comb Lady, Kombucha, whatever her name is. Even Knee Pads hasn't been talking that much. She's just saying her shit. It's down to three. It's realistically speaking, it's down to Barney and Gropey and Palefeather. You're just not hearing to anything. Andrew Yang, he's what he is, man. He's a game show host. He wants to give you money. And cool for him. I was actually listening to a little bit. He was on the Joe Rogan show. I don't know if it was this week or within the last couple weeks. And I listened to about 10 minutes. You know what? He doesn't seem like an awful guy. He seems like a decent enough guy. He just doesn't have any kind of ideas except throwing money at people. And I get what he's saying. Like $1,000 a month, I'll take that. I'm not going to not take it. And talking about like the one thing he said, and it kind of hit home for me because I got, my older son's up in school. And he's talking about what's better for a college kid to like give him like imaginary false hopes like Barney about getting rid of student debt or putting $1,000 in his pocket and saying, hey, you know what? Pay off some of that debt. Here you go. And shit like that makes sense. It's unrealistic. Like, it's a pipe dream. And on paper, it looks good. It's not ever going to happen because what are you going to do? Where's that money going to come from? It's still going to come from the same place, us. But at least it was a little more noble, and at least it made a little more sense, and it explained the dynamic where, everything's just free with these other fucking morons. But, he's still a 0%er. He's never going to be president of the United States. I don't think he wants to be really. Like a lot of the BCD listers, I don't really think Andrew Yang wants to be president. I think he just wants to get his name out there and, get a little more name pop for whatever he's going to do after. Maybe he's going to write a book or something. You haven't heard from Tulsi after her little, and you know what? Somebody should go check on her because you haven't seen anything about her since she popped off on the Queen Twat Goblin there. So she might be dead, and they haven't figured out a story to tell yet because they're too busy still working on the whistleblower story and the impeachment story and all that other stuff. The script writers are pretty busy right now, so maybe they just haven't come up with a story to explain Tulsi Gabbard being dead yet. But you haven't heard anything from her, so somebody go check on Tulsi, make sure she's okay. Because, she's another one like Andrew Yang. Like, she's not unlikable. She's the brightest of the bunch. She's kind of hot. That's not the worst thing in the world. But you haven't heard anything from her since she crossed the Bantam from Chappaqua. So I'm a little worried now. I hadn't thought about it. But now I'm a little worried about Tulsi. I'm going to go, as soon as we're done tonight, I'm going to go make sure she's okay. Amy Thompson is telling me smoking will kill you. I know. Dina Van Busker Kane, Yan and Marianne are my favorites. Yang. Okay, spell check, whatever. Yang and Marianne are my favorites. Yeah, cute little Marianne. I like her. I want to give her cookies and tell her a story. She's like a little kid. She's just like, she has no business in there. She doesn't really just like, what are you doing? How'd you end up in here in this den of thieves, in this cesspool of filth that the Democratic freaking Hunger Games is? You don't belong there, sweetie. Go knit something. Go to a farmer's market or something like that. Like, smoke some pot and just chill. Eat some mushrooms. That's your game, Marianne. You're in the wrong place. Greg Johnson, Bado will campaign for whoever finally gets the nomination. He can't stop flapping around. He is, and he's going to be that guy too. Like, he's one of the middle grounders as far as that side where like it's really clearly split between like the establishment Democrats, which is all the old folks, and the socialist Democrats, which are all the young idiots. He's kind of like, he's going to go where the wind blows. Like, he's going to go whatever's going to be good for Bado, Betty. Just like, a lot of Republicans are like that too, man. Like that sums up Lindsey Graham pretty well. It sums up Moscow Mitch, Cocaine Mitch, Turtle Boy. He's looking out for him too. But that's what Beto's going to do. And you know what? What's an endorsement from Beto? We got an endorsement from the overwhelming loser of the Senate race in Texas and presidential race dropout. Thanks, Betty. Appreciate it. You could sway dozens of votes come election day. So we appreciate your help. But what I started saying before was like, as this attrition happens and Betty drops out, and, whoever drops out, I think Slow Corey's probably on his way because you haven't heard much from him. Sooner or later, Kamala Harris is going to drop out, and you're going to get down eventually to Bernie and Gropey and Palefeather. And the thing that's going to be interesting about that is you're going to have these three old codgers doing a 3-hour debate where the time's not divided between 10 people. The time is going to be divided between 3 people, which means they are going to have to speak like 66.66666 yada 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 percent more in those debates than they did in the previous debates. And I'm interested to see mostly how Bernie holds up to that, because we know he's got a bad heart and he's like, he's at death's door as it is. And Joe's probably not too far off that. The thing with Joe, I'm not so much worried about him croaking as him just losing his shit and going across the stage and punching Bernie. And then, like I was saying in that meme, like Bernie, what was the thing I said where Bernie's going to have a heart attack and fall over and knock the podium over, and the podium is going to fall on Palefeather's ankle and break her ankle, and then they're not going to take care of her at the hospital. You remember that one. But anyway, so they all got their own thing. But it's going to be interesting to see when it's just the 3 of them up there on the stage debating as opposed to 10 people, and they're not getting as much of a break. I think Joe's going to get overheated and lose his shit, and I think Bernie might die. So there's a lot of interesting stuff looking forward to in the Democratic Hunger Games debates going forward as the field shrinks and more of these knuckleheads realize the futility of what they're attempting to do and drop out. Deborah Patera, I bought a Tommy gun yesterday plus 5,000 rounds of 45. Holy cow. What are you planning for? A Tommy gun? Like, you got one of those guns like with the big barrel, like that big round disc barrel? That's pretty crazy. Send me a pic of that. And I don't know if you want to put it on Facebook. Maybe you shouldn't put it on Facebook, but you can like text it to me or email it to me. I'd like to see a picture so I know what you're talking about. So, okay, Randall Holloway is saying today, Tupelo, Mississippi. So, Randall, I think you're new. I haven't seen your name around. Maybe I have. It kind of looks a little familiar. So, yeah, man, watch party right after the show. We're going to go right on. Mona Eves, isn't his name Robert Francis? Just call him Franny. That's a good one, too. But we don't have to call him anything anymore because he's gone. So, we've got Greg Johnson. Here's liberal specifics. Higher taxes, more gun laws, more bullshit, more whining, more sexual gender obfuscation, and eating the house pets in the dark for the neighbors steal them. And that explains exactly why they can't say that stuff, because who in the world would vote for that? Like, if they came right out and said, here's our platform, and just said what you just said, it's a pretty grim prospect for their chances on election day. So they're going for an impeachment instead. They're going to knock him out of the race. That's what they're going to do. They're going to knock Donald Trump out. They're going to make him forfeit. They're going to make Donald Trump forfeit the election after he rebuilt the economy, killed the head of ISIS, created 125,000 new jobs this month, which was 40,000 more than expected. They're going to make Donald Trump quit the race in embarrassment because of a phone call that he didn't do anything wrong on. That's the Democratic platform, folks. Vote for me. Lisa Russell, Nasty Nancy, Mona Eves, we're voting in Kentucky on Tuesday. What are you voting for in Kentucky on Tuesday? Specifics. Eddie Perez, what's up, brother? Eddie, haven't seen you in a while on the show. Thanks for popping up. I'm going to do a time check because we're going to alter my program a little bit tonight because I'm going to take a walk. I'm going back to Dirty Chinese tonight for the first time since I walked out in anger like 6 months ago. I believe in second chances, and I don't even remember what they did to fuck me over the first time. Oh yeah, they left me standing at the counter and just ignored me for like 5 minutes while I was standing there waiting to order. But I'm just feeling Chinese food tonight. So we're going to start walking up there before the show's quite over, and we'll walk up together. Maybe we'll go in. If it's not too crowded, we'll go in and see if we can trigger some, I don't know what we'll do. Probably not. That's probably not a good idea because they're going to have my food while we're doing stuff with the camera, and we don't want any unseemly occurrences happening to my shrimp and lobster sauce there. So that's a pretty gooey, whitish gray looking sauce as it is. I don't think I want to elaborate any further. So that was a bad idea, but we are going to take a walk. Okay. Elaine Arnett, Dangerfield. We're voting in South Carolina tomorrow as well. So what's up with these Saturday elections? Like, is that a common thing? Like, they just did that other one on a Saturday not too long ago, too. What are you, okay, sorry, Tuesday, geez, so you're voting on Tuesday. So I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe this election that the rally in Mississippi is on Tuesday, because that's Tuesdays are election days. Like, you don't really vote on Saturday, but they did just have that other election on a Saturday when we did the last watch party. So who the fuck knows what's going on anymore? It doesn't matter. We'll do what they do. Mary Gunny, a first grader, knows more math than Warren and her plan for Medicare for all plan. Because they, again, I say this, I've said it 1,000 times. They can say anything. They don't have to have hard data, and they don't have to have correct numbers. They can just spit numbers out because nobody is hearing anything but orange man bad anyway. That's the beauty of being a Democratic candidate, because you can wing it. You can go up there and say, oh, Medicare for all is only going to cost us $5,000 a year, and we'll get it all hooked up. Yeah, orange man bad, fuck Trump, fuck Trump, fuck Trump. And that's what you get. That's how that works. It doesn't matter. Facts don't matter. Numbers don't matter. Statistics don't matter. You can say anything. It's a beautiful thing. It would have been. I could have run in this Democratic primaries, man. I could have scammed everybody. I could have won, and then lost to Trump. But I would have been the best race. It would have been fun. The debates would have been hilarious. So, Greg Johnson, impeachment means they got nothing. They are nothing. They suck. We're getting angry, guys. Jim Thomas said I was getting angry today. The last couple of weeks, he thought I was being a little bit mean and angry. A little tinge. I don't mean to throw you under the bus, Jim, if you're still out there. I'll just point it out. It just seems like, and I kind of have been saying to myself that there's a little bit of a difference in tone between the original PCS page and the PCS Memes page. Because like I post all the same stuff, but I don't spend as much time in the memes page as I do in the original page commenting. And I'm not commenting much at all anymore, and I apologize for that, guys. I just don't have the time. It's getting so crazy with all the people coming in and all the building and everything I have to do. And I just haven't had the time to really get into the comment boards and, jump into the fray too much. So I'm real sorry about that. And that was another thing Jim had pointed out earlier, that I hadn't liked some stuff, and I haven't been liking all the stuff either. I just don't have time. If I had another hand behind my back, like I could hold my phone back there and like stuff with that hand and then do my work on the computer, and if a dog had a square ass, holy shit blocks. But, so I apologize to everybody for all that. But the meanness thing, maybe it's been a little edgy, maybe whatever. But, just I open my mouth and whatever my brain lets fly out, that's how it works. And you seem to like it. So we're just going to carry on with it. Susan Levy, I had one person get mad at my 8-year-old autistic son for his SpongeBob costume. I guess leftists are saying SpongeBob is racist. How in the world is SpongeBob racist? Like, what's racist about SpongeBob SquarePants? Is he like offending square people or people who are made out of sponge? Like, I mean, I can't even joke about that. Like, there isn't even like a funny little thread I could grab onto to like try and make that be funny. That's just, and throwing in the fact that your son's autistic, that's just ridiculous. I hope you punched him in the eye. I would have, and you should have. Mary Gunny, Trump is swatting them like flies over their antics. He's rocking our economy and creating jobs. Greg Johnson, I just smashed him between the eyes and go on. All right, we can't be getting violent, though. Like, let's not go around. I just said it, too, and I just said you should punch somebody. No, nobody punch anybody. That's not, violence is never the first option, okay? That's my mantra. Violence is never the first option. Nobody hit anybody. We don't have to. Like, save that stuff. But although, you know what? And that's another thing, too. And maybe this plays into, what we were just talking about, where the violence is ramping up and people are getting mad because the other side is just not stopping and they're getting worse. And, like, It's just human nature. Like, you're only going to take so much before you snap. And that's common, kids. You know, you can only push us so far. We're a pretty calm lot. We keep our cool. We make our point with words and facts and expression and superior intelligence and superior, you know, expression of our ideology and our thoughts and our ideas. Instead of orange man bad, pow, punch somebody in the face, we try and talk about it first. But everybody's got their breaking point. And if you keep pressing, if this unhinged left side just keeps pressing like this, you're going to start seeing this come out. And the thing about it, too, is the longer you hold it in, which we're doing by nature, the worse that shit's going to be when you finally get us to the point where we start lashing back. And, man, I'll tell you what, you better think hard. Any lefties out there, if you're listening, and, you know, if you're listening to the show and not talking, like, you're just ghosting out there and just listen, that's probably, you know, anybody's welcome to jump into the conversation. But it occurs to me that any unhinged left-hole knucklehead idiot is going to jump up and say some dumb shit. We've never really had that happen on the live show. If you're out there, by all means, we got about 15 minutes. We can go if you want. But the point I'm making is, you know, you're going to provoke us. You're going to provoke people into hitting back eventually. And it's going to be bad. And that's where that Civil War dynamic, as awful as it, I hate saying it. I just don't even like saying it. And I've been finding myself typing it over the last couple of days particularly. And maybe that's what, you know, he was talking about. Maybe that's what Jim was talking about. We're like, there's just a little edge. I'm starting to feel a little edgy. I'm starting to feel a little on edge. And like, you know, you guys aren't relenting, okay? There's no end game here where everything ends well for everybody, the way things are going. You're just going to keep pushing, and you're just going to keep pressing, and you're going to keep with this impeachment and the violence from Antifa and the protests. You're ramping it up a little at a time, every week, every day. It gets a little worse and a little worse, and you're going to hit the wall where people are going to be tired of that shit, and they're going to start punching back. And when you start saying shit, oh, see, look, they act violent. No, we're acting violent because you've been acting violent gradually more and more and more and more and ramping it up over the past 3 years. Every day, I can go online any day and find an article or a story where somebody was at a protest and committed an act of violence or committed an act of near violence from the left. And I challenge you to go out and find one from the right. You know what? You'll find one, I'll find 10 in the same time it took you to find one. I'll find 10 acts of violence or near violence, instances of that from the left in the time you'll find one from the right. And I don't want to hear about it. When that shit starts backing up on you, when that shit starts blowing back on you, I don't even want to hear it. Because you earned every bit of it when it gets to that point. Because you don't know when to stop, and you don't know when to say, you know what, enough is enough, let's cut the shit out, let the country run as it's supposed to, and do it the right way, and beat this man at the polls. You can't. You don't have that luxury, obviously, with the monkeys you're running. But this is not the way. The way you're going about it is not the way. It's going to end badly for a lot of people on both sides. This is not the way. Do I have an answer? Of course not, because I never have answers. I have loads of questions, and I probably end up making it worse. But, man, everybody got to take a deep breath and just sit back and just check yourselves, because we're going in a bad direction. We're going in a bad direction societally. Jim Thomas is now saying, time to Trump your way out of New York. You know, it's funny. I'm almost done with my commitment to being in New York. It's just, I had a really good phone conversation with my older son just last night. Or was it today? Maybe it was today. No, it was yesterday. And just about a lot of things and about school. And he's getting toward the end of school. And they're grown-ups, man. My older one's going to be 22 in December. It's a Christmas baby. And my younger one's going to be 19 in December. So they're grown-ups, man. They don't need daddy, like need daddy anymore. And my obligations, as it were, are starting to like wind their way down. And, you know, and then one thing, and a part of it, I'm not going to get into the conversation. It was just a good, you know, father-son conversation. We haven't had one of those in a long time. But a part of it was like he's getting toward the end of his run in school, at least this part of it. He's doing very well, graduating early. And he's getting scared. He's like, you know, without saying the words, he's like, in a couple of months, I have to start adulting for real, and I'm a little scared. And I'm not throwing him under. He doesn't watch this show. He's, you know, but he didn't say the words, but I could tell that that's where he was at. And like the gist of the conversation and the real bottom line to it was like, there's no expiration date on you being my son and me being your father. There's none. There's no cutoff. It's not like, you know, you're on your own now, you know, and go be an adult. This is it. We've done this for 21 years and you're finished, and go be a grown up, and good luck. It's not like that. He just needed a little reassurance, I think, that was there. And he should have known it. I don't know, you know, what anybody should know in their head. I'm just like, I'm going at it from my perspective, and that, like I said, there's no expiration to that. Like 30 years from now, if you need a place to sleep and some food to eat, you're going to have it. Like, don't worry. 30 years from now, God forbid I'm still alive at that point, but you know what I'm saying. But, okay, getting back to the New York thing, like, yeah, man, you know, that's the kind of thing I'm getting to the position where I can start playing. I just had to be in New York up until now. I'm lighting this fucking cigarette again, so I'm sorry, I don't know why it keeps going out, but just bear with me. All right, it's the same one again. Like, I've been smoking the same cigarette for an hour, and I know it's no good for me, so you don't have to say it. So the next problem is I don't know how to live anyplace else. Like, I can't imagine myself like going to like Wyoming or something like that. Like, I'm going to stick out like a friggin' sore thumb, and I'm a big, loud New York guy, and I don't think people would like me in Wyoming or someplace quiet and nice. Like, I kind of got this New York attitude where you kind of got to have it to walk around here. You know, you just have to, you're almost on guard to some extent constantly. Like, I'm sitting here now in the dark. I'm not like scared or anything, but you never know, you know, you just got to keep that, where I guess like in like South Dakota, maybe you don't have that dynamic at play. And I also got nowhere else to go and no job anywhere else. You know, somebody make me an offer. Anybody needs to hire somebody? You got any job openings? Anybody want to, you know, drop maybe $100,000 and finance Planet Common Sense podcast or something? I'll move anywhere you want. I'll move to freaking the Philippines if you want me to. You say the word. Anybody wants to like sponsor Planet Common Sense as like an official real thing and hire me as just let me know, and let me know where I got to be. Anybody wants to adopt me? That'd be cool. I don't eat much, and I don't make a lot of noise, and I don't really have any friends that would come over the house, especially if I move somewhere new. So if anybody wants to adopt me, we could do the paperwork on that. But as of right now, New York's my place. It's the only place I've ever been, except for a short stint during the married days in Connecticut and the first couple of months in New Jersey. I've been in New York all my life, 54 years as of last week. So I don't see myself going anywhere else. It's just, you know, it's interesting to think about. Anybody got any ideas, let me know, and we'll see what happens. Dina Van Busker Kane, how about reducing our taxes $12,000 a year instead of giving us $12,000 cash a year? Sounds like a good idea to me, but Orange Man Bad is a lot easier to sell to the morons. Joe Yee has just joined us as we are coming into the closing minutes of tonight's broadcast, but that's okay, because you can catch the replay on Facebook. You can catch it on the Planet Common Sense channel on YouTube. Click subscribe if you go as of tomorrow morning. And don't forget, Planet Common Sense on Twitter at GlennPCS. We're having a lot of fun over there. Getting close to 200 followers. Watch out, Kim Kardashian. Watch out, Cardi B. I'm coming with my 200 followers. Figure at the rate we're going, I should be caught up to your millions in about another like 327 years. And I don't give a shit. I'm just having a good time. Linda Bleefnick, Tulsi has been posting videos of herself working out in the gym. You know what, though? See, that sounds suspicious to me. You just made me more worried about Tulsi Gabbard with that than not hearing anything about it. Because isn't that just about what they did with Ruth Bader Ginsburg? I just called her Ruth Bader without the R Ginsburg. You see what you guys did to me? But that's exactly what they did. They had Ruth Ginsburg pumping that little 1-pound barbell over her head, and they probably almost killed her with that. And then sure enough, 2 weeks later, she's in the hospital with cancer again. So that is not comforting in any way that Tulsi Gabbard is allegedly posting videos of herself working out, because that could be faked. I think they got Tulsi. Man. I'm worried now. I'm going to go home and check that out. Thanks. Greg Johnson, a cuddle cobra, Tulsi Gabbard. That's a good one. Joe Yee, this is all crazy. Every single bit of it. You're right. Kevin Kester. BS, she was with me. Kevin Kester has Tulsi Gabbard. He's holding her in the basement like fucking Buffalo Bill. He's gonna skin her and wear her as a girl suit. Somebody go over to Kester's house and kick the door in and save Tulsi. Kevin, man, you're a bad seed, bro. We still love you though. Every family's got its cousin that they keep in the basement. That's you in Planet Common Sense. Mona Eves, Tulsi's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah, she's still cute though. And again though, you got to look at it like in perspective. You hold her up against Pale Feather. Hold her up against the Kobuchar, the comb lady. She was the best they had to offer, and they just completely rejected her because she was making way too much sense and fucking everybody else up. Because she was pulling 0% because nobody knows who she is and they're never going to vote for her. And at the same time, she was wrecking everybody and making them all look ridiculous. Just like the emperor has no clothes, like she was pointing out the folly of everything else everybody was trying to say. This is all staged. I'm really worried about Tulsi Gabbard now. Not politically, just as a human being. Like I'm worried that Tulsi Gabbard's been abducted. I was only kidding about Kevin. I don't think he did that, really. But somebody could. I'm nervous now. Anyway, we'll let that go. We know she's a wolf in sheep's clothing, Mona. But what are you going to do? Greg Johnson, I quit smoking 13 months ago, 55 years too late. Cough, cough, dying cough. Thanks, man. Make me feel good. Appreciate that little boost there. I know, I got to quit. It's awful. I've quit a lot of times, too. And I just keep on going back. It just keeps fooling me. You know what the thing is about cigarettes and quitting smoking? And this is, it sounds like an excuse, but it actually makes a lot of logical sense, too. Quitting smoking is harder than like quitting heroin. And it's just logistics. Because if you're a heroin addict, okay, and you go through, first of all, to buy heroin, you have to go to a nasty, filthy place and hang out with nasty, filthy people and spend a lot of money to get it. And you take it back to your house, and it's a whole process. You mix it, and you put in a needle, you stick a needle in your arm, and yeah, whatever. That's a process, man. So you go through, and you're on heroin, okay? Say you're on heroin, and you go to a rehab, and you get off heroin, you fight your way through that, and everything I understand about that is it's just awful. It's horrible. You feel sick. You're miserable for the couple days till you get it out of your system. It's the kind of shit where you come out of it, and you have incentive to not go back to doing heroin again. The fact that it was so awful to get off of it, the fact that it was so costly to get off of it, what it does to your body, and the fact that to get back on it, you got to go to a grimy place and talk to grimy people and spend a lot of money. That's heroin, okay? Quitting smoking and getting back on smoking, all I got to do is go over there and I can buy a pack of cigarettes. And if he doesn't have them, all I got to do is walk up the block, one block, to the other gas station. And he's got cigarettes. And that's a big part of the problem with quitting smoking is it's just so easy to not quit. It's so easy to go back. I sound like I'm making excuses. There's a little bit of logic and rationality in what I'm saying. I get it, but it doesn't excuse it. It's awful. I should do that. You know what we should do? And I'll tell you what would make me quit. And I shouldn't even say this shit because you guys are going to break my balls and hold me to this now. What I should do is like have Glenn's going to quit smoking day on Planet Common Sense and just jump up and say, that's it, I'm quitting smoking, blah, 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 and publicize it and put it out there. And then I'm going to have 15,000 people between the two pages breaking my balls every time I talk about smoking. You guys won't let me smoke if I do that. So that's really the cure for it. But then again, on the other hand, you wouldn't know if I was smoking anyway. I just really don't have to just not smoke for an hour a week on Friday night, and you guys would be none the wiser. But no, I wouldn't do that to you. That's the thing. Like if I flat out said, and I'm not saying it now, so don't anybody start any shit with me, please. One day, when I'm ready, that's another thing too, is you got to be ready to quit smoking. You can't just quit and say, I'm going to quit smoking or I'm going to quit this. You have to be ready to quit smoking. You really have to want to quit smoking to go through that. But one day, when that time comes and I'm ready to do it, I'm going to put it out there to you guys and I'm going to say, this is it, man. I'm quitting today and I need you guys to back me up and help me out. And you guys will break my balls and stuff and give me a hard time about it. And maybe that'll be the answer and will get me off the cigarettes. So anyway, I think we're about ready to start moving up the street. We have got almost an hour in. I'm going to swing my bag over the phone and the shoulder real quick. Wow, you didn't even see it. That was pretty slick. And I'm going to start moving up the street toward the restaurant and do my housekeeping and wrap up the show so we can get on our watch party. So, thank you all for being out here tonight with me in this cold weather on Friday night. for your never-ending support of Planet Common Sense PCS Laundry live on Friday nights. The PCS channel on YouTube. Click subscribe. Planet Common Sense on Twitter at GlennPCS. Thank you all. I love you guys, and I couldn't do without you, and I wouldn't do without you. I love each and every one of you. I hope we have a great weekend this weekend. Please go to PCS Memes. Check out PCS Memes. Hit the follow button over there. Go to the Planet Common Sense channel on YouTube. Click subscribe over there. You guys get me to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I can do live shows from there instead of this mess over here. And that's one less thing we are beholden to Facebook for. If you do Twitter, go on Twitter. Look me up at GlennPCS. We're having a good time over there. I'm going to walk up the street now, get myself some shrimp with lobster sauce and some fried rice and an egg roll, and just chilly chill and get the watch party popping. We will see you on over there. We'll have a lot of fun with that tonight, and everybody dance into the weekend. Hope you all had a great week and an even better weekend. And I am getting out of here, and I will see you later on the watch party. And I probably should have said I am out like about 72 words ago in this sentence, but I just keep letting words pop out of my mouth. So I'm just going to stop talking right now and say the words. Ready? Here we go. I am out.